I find sometimes the hardest thing to do is walk into a leg exercise with a efficient warm up that's going to make sure that you utilize the right muscles in your leg workouts, especially when they're compound exercises that use, multi-joint, that are functional type of exercises, squats, lunges, without always using that primary quad muscle, right? So what I like to start with first and foremost is a foam roller. I'm going to do one leg at a time, and I'm not going to roll out my quads. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay on the foam roller on one quad, the other leg is off to the side, and I'm going to find a spot where I feel like there's a good muscular tightness or adhesion, fascial restriction. It's going to give you a pain point of probably above a 5, right? Sometimes it's not very painful when you start just kind of rolling back and forth until you internally and externally rotate the quad, and then it might get a little bit more sensitive or painful because you're waking up that blood. Fascial nerve endings are all in the fascia, right? So everything starts waking up, and then you're going to find something that says, okay, this might need to be addressed, or else later in my workout, I'm always going to be feeling that area or quad kick in, and it's going to stay facilitated instead of using the right muscles per exercise that you're doing. So right now I found a spot just right on the internal um, aspect of the quad here, and I'm just going to roll back and forth. So I'm rolling, but I'm still staying on the one spot on my quad. And then once I find that spot, I'm relaxing into it. I'm going to contract my hamstring for 10 seconds. If it starts feeling like it's cramping your hamstring, just relax the hamstring, but don't get scared and extend your leg or jump off. Just try and gradually let that hamstring relax back down to a normal state. And that quad is going to relax a little bit after we've contracted that opposing muscle group, that hamstring. Another way you can relax that muscle faster that's on the foam roller is by contracting the quad, so pushing the toe down into the floor, contracting the quadricep, and then relaxing that quad. So you should feel like if you started at a number of, anywhere from 5 to 8, after about 2 minutes of either contracting the quad and relaxing or gently contracting the hamstring and relaxing, you should feel a significant decrease in the amount of tension that's in that quad where you have it placed on the foam roller. We're doing both legs, okay? Maybe spending a little bit more time on one leg if it tends to be the more dominant side where that quad is facilitated, and or you end up feeling it more in the workout. And you'll know which one it is. I immediately know that my right leg works more. I'm going to contract that quad and then relax, right? You're going to feel it kick in, contract and relax, contract and relax. Feeling the quad. And you're going to wait until you feel a good general sense of ease in both adhesions that you're hanging out on. And that's going to be the first part of this general lower body warm up. After you've done the foam roller, we're going to take a chair or anything you can hold onto a wall, hold onto a bench, weight training equipment, whatever you got, treadmill. I like the chair just because it gives me a position. It's about waist height. I'm going to stand hip width apart, and I'm going to hinge my hips back. Maybe bring the feet in a little bit closer. Hips hinge back. Knees will generally, when you hinge your hips back and keep your pelvis neutral, the knees will soften. So you don't want to be out into a hyperextended position, because as soon as I lift my legs, I'm going to feel that lower back. So we're going to have a soft bend in the knee. Wiggling the toes, most of the weight is in through the arch of the foot. You can feel a little bit of a hamstring stretch. You're going to lightly hold on to the chair, the wall, or whatever is in front of you, and you're going to slide one leg back. So you can see how my toe is back. My hinge is still there. I did not come forward. I stayed hinged back. Nothing changed. I just slid my leg back, gently holding on to what's in front of me. And when you lift this leg back, you're going to lift from the back of the knee, keeping this Low back, nice and neutral. We don't want any twisting or dropping. You're going to be feeling the stabilizing glute on this side. And we're going to be lifting the leg, not necessarily to work this leg, but we want a general sense of compensation patterns that might happen, and we want to work this stabilizing glute over here. We want to practice our breathing and our posture in that hinge, which is the first movement that you make in most complex lower body workouts. And we're just lifting here for anywhere from 15 to 20 repetitions. You're going to stop, stand up, place the hands on the small of the back, elbows are back, and you're going to arch. Okay? You don't want to feel any pain or discomfort in your lower back. That's why you're pushing down. You're going to get a nice stretch in through here. Then you're going to come back down, switching sides. Keep the neutral. Wiggle the toes, weights in the heels, shoulder blades back and down. Reach that leg back and pretend that it's lifting from the back of the knee and not the heel. Stabilizing glutes kicking in. Breathing out so you're keeping the core nice and neutral. You don't want to suck the belly in and arch here. You just want to pull that belly button up and in, like you're contracting the abdominals, right? Working through. Also, you're contracting the glute muscles a little bit to maintain that balance between abs and glutes. We don't want to over contract the glutes as well or over contract the abs. So just maintaining that neutral is hard enough work while you're doing these 15 to 20 repetitions leading up with that leg. Breathe it out. And done. You can do this for another 2 to 3 breaths. That's all you need to get a nice stretch in through those hips, because if we start with these hips facilitated as well, you're going to start pulling forward instead of pushing back in your squats and your lunges. Another really quick one, you don't have to do this for reps, but it's a good place to start, and we're going to do a Bulgarian split squat. So I like to hold on to something for balance. We're going to place the back foot on a bench, a chair. We're going to try and keep that leg as relaxed as possible. We're going to hop forward. I'm going to hold onto the foam roller for balance. Abs are in nice and neutral. You don't want to stay up nice and tall. Our body needs to meld into the movement. Okay, we want it to be very functional. If I'm picking up my kid or picking up groceries, how am I going to meld into this so that my body gets closer to the ground? So in this position, I have very little weight in the back leg, and most of the weight is in that glute and hamstring. Lightly holding this for balance, I'm going to come up, making sure you're breathing out, squeezing both glutes at the top, pulling the abs in, shoulder blades back and down. Inhale. See how that hinge took place? Very lightweight on that back leg. See how quickly I can just like lift it up. Squeezing through the glutes. We're going to do anywhere from 5 to 8 repetitions. We only want to hit a neural lock here, like a place where like, oh yeah, I felt my glutes working. That's it. I don't need to fatigue my glutes. I just want to warm them up, wake them up, and get them ready for my lower body workout. Same thing on the other side. I'll just hold the foam roller on this side so it's not in the way. Feel that glute and hamstring. You can wiggle the toes so the weight's in your heel. Drive it up. Feel those glutes working, right? 2 more. Last one. Little bit of a hip flexor warm up for a stretch. Again, holding on to a chair or something for balance. We're going to take the inside, we're going to take the outside leg. You're going to push the hip gently forward, drop the back knee. Feel a stretch in through, right from that inner thigh up to our hip. Then we're going to take our arm, we're going to come across our body. We're just going to get a stretch in through those obliques, QL, hip flexor. Now, if we want to add on, we're just going to do a little tiny rotation as we breathe. Shouldn't feel anything in our knee and our hip on this side because we're placed enough that we're stabilizing gently with our whole body on that opposite side. Switch it, leg back, tuck, so pull the abs in, flex the glutes on both sides, drop down just to where you feel that stretch, reach up, bend over, should bring that stretch into the QLs, obliques, and hip flexors just a little bit more. And inhaling. If you get into a stretch and you can't breathe comfortably in that stretch, you need to back off, and that is absolutely fine. A stretch should never hurt. You should be able to do it comfortably, anywhere from 15 to 20 seconds. In a warm-up stretch, we hold it a little bit longer in a stretch after our workout is done. But there is a general lower body, how to get blood flow, how to get stability, and how to get a little bit of balance and that inhibition and facilitated muscles, the compensation pattern to correct itself a little bit before we get into that lower body workout. So try that and leave a comment below and let me know how it goes.